Good afternoon, everybody. Bob Weeks here, along with Peter Corner at the Weston Golf and Country Club. We're here for the final of the National Sports Curling Classic. $5,000 on the line here in the men's championship. There's also a women's championship. This is a very big event in curling in the Toronto circles. And Peter, some great competition here all week, culminating in the game we have today between Wayne Middaugh and Rob Lobel.
Well, we got two good teams. Wayne Middaugh, probably the best team on the planet right now. They're a really strong team. They've just rifled through this Bonspiel and made it to the finals. Rob Lobel, local team, always plays well. You know, I expect big things out of him today. He's a good curler. He looks like he's playing well. He's making great shots. It's going to be a good game.
And you know firsthand about Wayne Middaugh's experience. You were his victim in the semifinals coming into this game. But as we mentioned, they'll be battling for the $5,000 first prize. And the ice here at Weston is ready to go. We'll be back in a moment with the first rock of this Weston Curling Classic, the National Sports Curling Classic from the Weston Golf and Country Club. If you want, but well, okay, it's like we're starting in the middle of half a minute. Why don't you wait for the first one? Okay. We've gone through a whole commentary. Yeah, okay. We can pick it up right now. Yeah. Okay. Why don't we pick it up? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Bob Weeks along with Peter Corner here at the Weston Golf and Country Club. The final of the National Sports Curling Classic, the third annual. And Peter, welcome. Looks like it's going to be a good match here. The men's final between Wayne Middaugh and Rob Lobel.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Wayne's team's obviously playing very well, and looks like I saw a few games yesterday at Rob and his team, and they seem to be playing good as well, so it should be a good game.
We're underway here in the first end, picking it up on seconds rocks, and right now you can, at the far end of the sheet, Middaugh is lying one behind cover. $5,000 to the winner here today, $2,500 for the runner-up. There's also a women's match going on, which we'll keep you updated on as the day progresses. That's between Kathy Brown of Sutton and Lukerbad, Switzerland's Grazilia Riching. And I'm sure you're on the edge of your seat for that game too, Peter.
Yeah, that should be a good game as well. Both teams seem to be playing very well, and the free guard zone certainly making things very interesting. The Swiss team likes to keep it pretty clean, so it should be interesting to see if they mix it up over there against Kathy.
Our focus, of course, will be here on sheet 5 at Weston, the men's draw. We are into third rocks. Graeme McCarrol is in the hack now. Give us a little rundown on this Middaugh team. You played them earlier today, I believe, lost in the semifinal, but give us a little rundown of their strengths and their weaknesses.
Well, yeah, the first thing is they don't have any weaknesses. This morning they got a deuce in the first end on us, and they actually peeled the next 6 ends in a row, and they were just unbelievable, just peeling every rock. And I tried to be patient to get things going with them, but they just kept running doubles on us like they were easy for them. And they're just a very scary team to play against because they have no weaknesses, and Wayne's very aggressive, and if you're not right on top of your game, they're going to beat you in a heartbeat.
We can see that aggressive play already here in the first end. Graeme McCarrol tucks one around top of the forefoot, and Team Lobel now running off the guard. On the other hand, Rob Lobel's team probably stays a little closer to home in terms of the competitive circuit, but they're pretty talented. They've won their share of things over the past years. What can you tell us about that team?
I know Rob and Steve Lobel from playing in juniors years ago, and I don't know their front end that well, but they like to, like you said, they like to stick close to home, and they, you know, if they can keep it clean, keep it simple here against Wayne, they'll have a chance of beating them.
Well, they missed the peel, the run-back attempt there, left to center guard, not covering the shooter. You can see just by the one that Wayne Middaugh just tapped there. And now looks like Wayne's going to call McCarrol to replace the guard or perhaps even tap that back a bit.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to set one up just out front or come in tight and try and get it half buried around the center guard.
This Middaugh team, one of 10 teams that will be participating in Brandon, Manitoba later in November. The Olympic playdowns, Canada's selection process. The first time that curling has been a full medal sport in the Olympics, and I think at this point, even though Wayne with this team has not been to the Brier, you'd have to consider them certainly among the favorites.
Yeah, I personally pick Wayne to win it. They're eager to play. They've been close to going to the Brier the last few years, and I know from speaking with Wayne, he is really geared up to go to the Olympics, and he's been waiting for this big show with his team to perform, and I predict Wayne's going to win it.
They were the first team to qualify back in World Curling Tour Championship in 1996. They won that event, got them in. 9 other teams, including some other Toronto teams, Ed Wernick, Mike Harris, involved there. And they're a nice little peel, peel of the shooter, or the shot stone, I should say, and leaving 2 center guards still up there now as we come to skip rocks here.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Wayne's now forced to take some tight ice and get around the center guards, but that gets Steve and his team in a little bit of trouble.
Ice here at Weston, typically a little bit straight. How did you find it this week?
I liked it. I don't mind the ice being straight as long as it's fast, which it was. The last couple of games, the swing started to pick up a little bit, so you could get around some center guards, but any in-out movement at all, and you had no chance of bearing a stone. You see Wayne there, he's well out there. I don't think that's going to have enough curl to get behind the center guard.
Looks like a delicate balance there between the weight and the curl. This one looks to be okay with the weight. However, as you say, probably not buried.
Yeah, that's pretty good though. Wayne took about 3 feet of ice there, so obviously the ice makers got a little bit of bend back in the ice, so that looks pretty good.
Rob Lobel's first rock here in the first end. He has the hammer here, and probably playing a quiet tap back. You're mentioning, Peter, the fear process that Middaugh can bring into somebody. Is that something that I mean, he's aware of, that he uses to advantage? Does he know that people are perhaps going to play a little defensive against him, and you can go aggressive and jump out, especially against probably a less experienced team?
Oh, absolutely. I know I'm scared of them. And this morning I knew in the first end he was going to be very aggressive against us, and he was going to come at us, and he did. He starts freezing the rocks in the first end, and he plays a very difficult game for his team as well. His team has to make shots because Wayne forces them to play very well with aggressive game. But with this free guard zone rule, it's difficult for a team to play simple against Wayne, because he'll come right at you with all of his horses, and like I said earlier, if you're not on top of your game, he's going to give you quite a beating.
Lying one now. This is his final rock in the first end, and he'll probably play some protection on this, I would think.
Yeah, he's just going to throw a guard out front here, and Rob will have to make a tough angle raise, score his point.
Sweeper's just brushing it now. As it gets halfway through, they're going to bring it right in. I guess a little warm, but gets the rub.
Yeah, just a little heavy there. I don't think Wayne wanted to bring that in quite as far. Rob will have a little hit and roll to score his point.
Still forcing him to one in the first end. Advantage swings back to Middaugh, I guess, to a certain extent.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, I'm sure he was happy winning the toss in the first end, but only scoring a point here means Wayne's going to be coming at him pretty strong in the second end to score 2 or more.
Steve Lobel there holding the broom, the younger of the 2 brothers here. Come from good lineage. Their father, Art, Brier champion for Quebec back in 1977, along with Jim Ursel. Also Canadian seniors champion on a couple of occasions. He was also playing in the Spiel this week with Jim Sharples.
Actually, he's over there in sheet 1 right now holding the broom, so the whole family out here.
Final rock of N1 on its way here.
Wow, great shot.
Double takeout, scores 1. So at the end of the first end, it's Lobel 1 and Middaugh nothing. This Spiel, Peter's in his third year now, been one of the I guess the bright lights on the Toronto curling scene. There hasn't been a lot of cash action in the Toronto area, which is surprising considering the number of big teams, I guess, since the Royal Spiel died. Not much to choose from other than really Brampton, which a little further out than Toronto, I guess. But with the strength of 20 or 25 curling clubs in the area, it's surprising.
Yeah, it is surprising. It's disappointing, I think, for us Ontario curlers who curl in the Toronto area. We're really forced to go out west to curl in most of our big bond spiels. But Weston puts on a good event. This is the second year I've been here, and it's a good cash spiel. The ice is always good. It's a good test at the start of the year, and you get some good teams. So, but it would certainly be nice to see some more bond spiels other than the Brampton bond spiel in the Toronto area. This is
not by teams of your stature competitor, and these teams we're seeing, Middaugh and Rob Lobel, not big bucks, $5,000 to win. But as you say, at the start of the year, I guess it's something you sort of look for to get a little competitive experience as you head into the playdown season and the bigger spiels. Yeah, that's right. It's nice to come out here. You're staying close to home. It's not a real big expense either. It's a good bond spiel for, for an expense point of view. You go out west, it's costing you a lot of money. So just to stay close to home here, you get to play for a little bit of money, and you get to play against some good teams that really want to beat you, some teams that just like to come out and play the Middaughs and the Ed Wernicks of the world, and they're going to give you a good game. So it's a good event. As you suggested, Middaugh playing fairly aggressively here. Lobel called the first stone into the rings. He quickly put up a corner guard, and now Lobel coming right back towards the center of the sheet. Yeah, he's Wayne Scott there. He's always has fantastic weight. Just threw it a couple inches off the rings there. So this one a little warm, right to the 14-foot in the hack. Now the advantage swings back. He calls for the freeze here. This is really setting up a deuce or more, I guess, isn't it? Yeah, Wayne will try and get Scott here to lock one on the face, and then Rob's going to have some troubles. He's going to have to play some good curling, some smart curling from here on out if Scott can lock this one on. This one perhaps just a shade warm. Bumping it back, it'll hang around. Yeah, that's a good shot. That's option number 2 there, just to tap it back. Now calling for a takeout here, perhaps a little roll away from the center of the sheet. Would that be the call? Yeah, a little roll the outside 8-foot. Just a little heavy, maybe. Middaugh's team has been, if I'm correct, the top money winners in the country, or certainly been close to it the last couple of years. They have a pretty busy schedule in addition to their Olympic plans coming up, but this is the type of team that'll go fly away virtually every weekend. Yeah, I was talking to Wayne earlier about it, what events he's going in. He was saying, including the Olympic trials, they're going to play in 12 events in a row. Of course, Wayne's one of the top money earners in the country, and he's a big draw as well, and so he gets a lot of entry fees, he gets a lot of invites, and he's taken full advantage of it this year, and he's going to do some traveling. Defending champion, I believe, in the skins game as well. TSN skins game. Yeah, he's back to the skins game again in December, and that's a pretty lucrative one if you come on the right side of the stick as well. Yeah, there's a lot of money staring you in the face there, and of course Wayne just loves that skins game. And there's Ian Tetley with a little raise there. Perhaps wanted a little more steam on that one, but it's buried at his shot. Yeah, that's a pretty good shot. These are the type of shots now that Rob's team is playing that Wayne basically forces you to make them. If you don't make them, he's gonna freeze to the back one, and he's gonna set himself up for 2, maybe 3. So these are not very high percentage shots in terms of ease, but I guess if you really got to make them if you want any chance at all of beating. Wow, that kind of cleaned things up, didn't it?
Yeah.
if you're gonna have to beat Wayne, so that's not a bad shot for the Lobel team there. Left leaves the corner though. Well, Wayne, do you think Wayne will take advantage of that, or we go and freeze on the corner? What will one of the rings, or peel it out, or?
You'll probably try and freeze because I don't think it'll curl there with the out turn. So he's going to play a hit here.
Ian Tetley in the hack, also from good lineage. Ian himself has won 2 world championships. His father was a Brier champion back in the 70s out of Thunder Bay. Ian, of course, has won 2 Briers with 2 different skips, 2 different teams.
Yeah, that's the best second stone in the country right there, I think, Ian Tetley. He's just so solid, plays so well all the time, and he's a real asset to Wayne's team, and I think that he's a big nucleus for that squad because when things go bad, maybe if Scott isn't playing so well, Ian can pick it up with a big double peel or a double, and that's what he did to us this morning, and he's just so solid, so consistent.
Certainly no shortage in weight department there. He can throw the high hard one, can he?
Yeah, he can throw it as hard as anybody can, and is accurate.
Steve Lobel now trying a little tap on their corner guard as we get into the third stones here in the second end. The National Sports Curling Classic, 3rd annual at Weston Golf and Country Club. Bob Weeks along with Peter Corner here on Rogers, bringing you all the action. Graeme McCarrol now delivering takeout attempt.
Along with one of the best second stones in the country, Wayne's got one of the best thirds in the country as well. So
I guess when you have one of the best skips and one of the best leads, it sort of makes for one of the best teams, doesn't it?
That's right.
I guess, but you need that kind of a team to play the game that Wayne does, don't you? I mean, really, as you mentioned earlier, plays a game that's very high risk in terms of freezes and things like that right from the get-go. If you make them, it's great, but if you don't have that experience, it's tough to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And Wayne knows that his team can make those shots, and his team knows that Wayne's going to call those shots. So they're pretty confident, and they know if they come out and play the game that they're going to play, they're going to beat you easily, and they usually do. Well, the ice is picking up along the center there. Generally, it's a little heavier on the outsides at the start of the game and gets really keen down the middle.
That's kind of a key mistake there, wasn't it, at this point of the game?
Yeah, Wayne's going to try and bury one now around the corner guard.
This Middaugh team plays out of the St. George's Golf and Country Club just down the road here from Weston. Lobel team from Richmond Hill, I believe. Thornhill. Parts unknown. And this one by the guard with plenty to spare, working on speed, I guess, now, and trying to get it to finish.
Yeah, just not a lot of curl there. Wayne took about 2 feet of ice, and looked like Graeme threw it pretty good. It just didn't walk over.
Bell team is out of Thornhill, I should clarify. Now we're into skip stones here. That rock you see down at the bottom, red rock, not quite buried, next to Steve Lobel's broom there, and he'll ask brother Rob to try and get rid of it. Almost completely exposed.
Looks pretty good. He's got a nice soft hack weight.
Good shot there. Would have liked probably a little more roll maybe to the center, but I guess you can't be too careful with. You have to be careful with the weight, so you can't really throw the up weight to get enough roll.
Yeah, it might have been safer to roll another couple of feet to the left, but you know, so Wayne doesn't have an easy hit and roll.
It's tough. You can't really leave him anything. This guy, he's so good.
Yeah, that's right. And Wayne will play the tough shots. He'll try an angle raise or play a tough double when he has an out. Maybe to take his one, he'll play the tougher shot for his two. He likes to score big points. So
also playing fairly quiet, controlled weight, maybe a little more. There it is, as we mentioned. No, can't leave him an opening. He hits and rolls buried. And looks like Rob will be looking at the run back.
Yeah, if he's smart, he'll play the run back. I don't think there's any reason why he could play a freeze here. Just try and run that straight back and get a blanket at the end. I just don't think it's going to curl enough for him to play a corner freeze.
There, Wayne moves out of the way. You can see the what we're looking at, that yellow stone at the top of the rings now that Rob's looking at. He wants to run that straight back onto the one that's in the rings. Doesn't look like Steve wants to play that. But as you suggest, it's freeze is a pretty risky shot at this point.
Yeah, the ice is pretty straight. If you pick the weight up a little bit and you throw it clean right at the center of the rock, it'll probably stay there. So this is a percentage shot, and it's probably the safer one.
Lobel's final rock in end one here. It's close.
Oh, good shot.
Got it out. Spilled the shooter, but still a nice shot there. And I'm sure we don't have to worry about this next rock. This will be zipping down. Blank the end. Keep advantage of last rock. Middaugh's had a fairly easy go of it so far through to this point. Hasn't had, certainly in the qualifying stages anyway, was pretty awesome in getting through. Beat Adam Spencer from Guelph in the quarterfinals. As we mentioned earlier, you were his victim in the semifinal. Now he's on to the final. The other side, Stu Garner was the loser in the semi to Lobel. He also beat Dias from Richmond Hill. Jim Dias from Richmond Hill, Rob did on the other side. So third end underway very quickly here. Still 1-0 for Rob Lobel over Wayne Middaugh. Wayne Middaugh with the last rock. Any surprises so far?
No, I think Rob will try and get this one close to the rings, and Wayne will probably throw a corner guard or tap it back. Rob scored his point in the first end. Wayne went after him in the second end and couldn't manufacture anything more than a blank, so he'll go right after him here again. You'll see Wayne try and freeze to this rock probably, or throw a corner guard.
Now, in an average club game, you might see the team without last rock put that in front of the rings, especially with the free guard zone here. But at this level, you just can't do that, can you? Wayne would go right around that, I'm sure, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. You throw it in the rings. That's a bit of an advantage to the team without the hammers, to throw it in the rings. Because if Wayne does throw a guard here, he can guard his own shot. So he starts off the end anyways, kind of in control. But with Wayne's team, if you give him any bit of a break, you throw it out front, and Scott's such a great lead, has super touch, he'll just sink one right around it, and then you're going to be fighting for the rest of the end.
This is Marcus Kuuter, the lead on Rob Lobel's team.
You saw Scott, he slipped one into the rings there, and now Rob will take it out, and you're going to start watching Wayne. He's going to start tapping rocks back here now. He's going to try and get his deuce another way than just throwing guards.
This is a strategy that, in my experience anyway, was first used when you guys curled for Russ Howard. He seemed to tap things back behind the tee line, freeze to things back there, get rocks in play, sort of junk it all up, and as you say, use mirrors and smoke, and all of a sudden you're looking at 3 or 4 or something. Is that something? Is that where you first sort of looked at this strategy in those years?
Yeah, that's right. You know, there was many different ways to score points, and we used to tap rocks back, and even though the other team might have been sitting 2 or 3, it only takes one good freeze to score your deuce. So.
Little mistake there, though, I would think. That's not perhaps what we wanted, for Wayne Middaugh anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I mean, that rock might have picked something up, because that curled well by the 2 front stones, and it's a little bit straighter than that in that spot, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Team Lobel lying 2 here now. The next rock on its way, and this one appears headed for the rings as well.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise for Rob. I think I would have thrown a guard out front. That would have certainly put Wayne in a difficult spot. He would have started having to peel the top stone. And the big thing for Rob right now is not to be too afraid of Wayne. Just
play his own game, I guess, is one way.
Play his own game, and Wayne will try and trick you into playing his game, and if you do that, he's going to take a couple of deuces on you. And
looking for the hit and roll here. He's got the hit, a little bit of a roll. Not a bad shot there, though. That's sort of setting things up a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah. So now Rob's going to have to play a tough shot here. He's going to have to slip this one by without taking out his back one, and it's going to end up leaving Wayne a freeze opportunity or a hit and roll.
And this stone has a piece of the red rock, but rolls out. Still not too bad a shot, I guess. Would you have preferred to save that one? Perhaps split the rings with it on the roll?
That's probably the better shot, really, to roll out. What Wayne wants Rob to do there is to hit and roll to the back of the rings, and that's going to allow him to use something to freeze against. So that's probably the better shot for Rob's team. You can see Wayne now, he's decided to hit, so he's probably looking at trying to blank this end now and going to the next end.
Ian Tetley with a delicate shot. Brooms have not come in all to it. I guess maybe looking for a piece of a double, but peels the top one, rolls out, and just that lone yellow shooter in the forefoot. Steve Lobel now hoping to put one out in front or tight to the rings anyway. There's some concentration for you. Look at that face. Whoa.
Yeah, if you can get this one out front, Wayne, again, he's going to call on Graeme McCarrol to throw a peel or a straight back. This is just over curling a little bit.
Well, that's part of it exposed. Wayne's going to go on top. Lock one on, maybe?
Yeah, Wayne will play a freeze here.
Boy, you don't miss by much, and as you mentioned, he comes right after you once again. Here's Graeme McCarrol. His first shot here in the third end. This one's starting to make a move now.
Yeah, it's really pulling across there now with the intern. I don't know if he's going to have enough weight to get shot here.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. That's a pretty good shot by Graeme.
You really need your third to have those kind of shots, don't you? Those touch shots, those little delicate moves, the taps. I mean, I guess everyone has to have those now, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. But I think in all, the Vice has to have, really the Vice has to be the best player on the team. The skip has to be able to make the big shots when the pressure's on the line, but the Vice has to be an all-around curler. And Graeme, he can do it all. He can throw the soft shots, he can throw the big heavy peels, and nerves of steel.
Of course, that statement coming from a skip. Yourself, you have some pretty good players on your squad as well when it comes to rounding it out.
Yeah, I have a good team. I'm really happy with my guys, and I'm really looking forward to this winter. And we had a good run here. We let one get slipped away this morning against Wayne. Otherwise, we'd be in the final. But I'm really happy with the way my guys are playing, and I think you're going to see some good things from us this year.
You made it to the provincials last year. I guess your goals there and a little higher perhaps this year.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking at winning the provincials. There's no reason why my team can't. We get there, we play well, we can play with anybody, and the Shorty's making the ice this year, Shorty Jenkins, so the ice is going to be good. So yeah, I'm looking at a very high goal, and that's the goal of the Brier.
Graeme McCarrol now looking at a delicate double. There you go. Beautiful shot. And as you mentioned, you get a few in there, and the team's sitting 2, and all of a sudden, bang, now 1 shot, and Middaugh is sitting 2.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Rob's going to have to play a little hit and roll, I think, for second shot, and try and hold Wayne just to 2 points here, or if you can.
Now you're looking at the prevent defense, are you, at this point?
Yeah, if he does something, if he hits and rolls out here, Wayne's going to bury another one around that corner guard, and he's going to be looking at giving up 3. So if he can hit and roll about 6 inches to the right, he'll be in good shape.
Skips Rocks here, the third end, the National Sports Curling Classic at Weston Golf and Country Club. Rob Lobel delivering his first stone here. This third end, looking for a little hit and roll. He's got pretty good line. Sweepers are on it. And just a bit too much roll.
I have to hand it to the ice maker. We played this sheet in the second round on Friday, and it wasn't bending much there at all. So he's really he's done some good things here over the course of the weekend. The ice is starting to move, and it looks pretty good.
Ice seems to be, obviously it's fairly new. We're just into the first weekend of October here, but is that sort of a typical thing you'll see ice develop a little bit as the year goes on, or do some tricks to it maybe to get some action into it?
Yeah, usually in the early stages of the game, it's going to be pretty straight, and early stages of the year when you're not sure how it's going to react, you have to get the temperature all set perfect. And now that we got a few rounds curled on it so far this year, it's coming around, it's starting to curl, and the speed's really good, and it looks like good curling ice.
It's tough as well as we're taping this show right now. The weather outside is about 75 and sunny, and I'm sure a lot of people will love to be playing golf rather than curling at this point, but these two teams well into it. $5,000 to the winner here, $25 to the runner-up. And there's Wayne Middaugh's shot to the back ring. He wants to make that second shot. I guess that's why they swept that a little bit deeper.
Well, I think Wayne's initial plan there was to try and maybe half tuck it around that corner guard, but he came a little heavy, and it slipped to the back of the rings, and they certainly didn't want to set up a double. So you'll see Rob just remove this stone and basically concede his 2 points.
Rock at the red rock, biting the red circle there, the 4-foot shot stone. But Rob Lobel will be playing the one at the back, which is in the 8-foot. And I'm sure just an exchange of rocks here with the last 2 stones at the end. Players of this caliber don't often whiff these ones, although it's been known to happen, hasn't it?
You know, it sure has.
Just when you least expect it, I guess.
He'll probably try to roll a little bit to the left or the right, depending on his line, and give Wayne a bit of a different shot.
Not many places to hide, but you're right. You always try and never try to leave the guy the same shot, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's right. There he just rolled a couple of feet to the left, so Wayne has to draw a full 8-foot for his 2 points. Wayne's one of the quickest curlers in the country. He's already in the hack and getting ready to throw before the other rock stops.
Must have dinner plans. He's in a hurry to get out. Maybe get to the bank, cash the check. No problems there. That one's stopping Well, maybe there is a problem. Back 8 foot. Pulls on for second shot. 2 points for Middaugh. That leaves him, moves him out in front. 2-1 lead. Wayne Middaugh over Rob Lobel at the National Sports Curling Classic. And we will be right back with more after this. And we are back here at Weston Curling Club, Weston Golf and Country Club. Peter Corner, our analyst here, world champion. I'm Bob Weeks, and we're into the 4th end here. Wayne Middaugh with a 2-1 lead, and Peter, as you suggested, Wayne Middaugh playing fairly aggressively. What's the strategy here now? He's back to without last rock. We just saw him make a gesture there with his hands to Scott Bailey in this first end. What's he looking for?
Well, he's going to try and play aggressive here again. He's going to throw it, try and get a couple feet short of the rings, and make Rob go on the offensive side. I'm surprised Wayne this morning was throwing it in the top of the 4 foot, and he was making our team throw corner guards. So I'm surprised Wayne's throwing this out front. He's taking a little different approach.
Is it often the case that you'll see something on another team, perhaps on an opposition player, where you might say, well, I don't think this guy can do this, or is this his weak handle or something, and you'll play to that advantage or disadvantage, as the case may be?
Yeah, absolutely. Wayne might pick up that the front end on Rob's team might be struggling a little bit, and he'll go after him with his front end with Scott and Ian. That's a perfect shot Scott Bailey just threw, and that's exactly what Wayne wanted. Rob's going to throw the corner guard, and then you're going to see Wayne play a bump, and he's going to go right after him here and try and get a steal.
Marcus Kuuter here now with the first stone for Team Lobel, looking for a corner guard. This looks like it has a little bit of steam on it.
Yeah, this might even be in the back of the rings here. This is looks hot.
Not, I'm sure, what he was looking for. Now the whole complexion of the end changes. I guess it's with the free guard zone now, the lead position is so important, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. The lead basically has to curl like the vice does now. The lead has to have good touch. He's got to be able to make come around taps. He's got to make some key freezes late in the game. And this morning we played Wayne. We were one up coming home without the hammer, and we had one buried in the 4 foot, and Scott come around and made a perfect come around freeze, and from that point on we were in trouble. And so the lead has to, it really is one of the most important players on the curling team, and if he's having a bad day, you're going to be in trouble.
Scott makes the hit, rolls to the far side of the sheet, and will hang around out in the 12 foot.
Scott's been playing for Wayne, I guess, for 3 or 4 years now, and just from the general talk around the curling scene, he's known to be one of the best leads in the country now. He's really enjoys his position, plays very well, and he likes playing for Wayne. I know they become really good friends, so it's nice to see Scott out there, and he's a great curler and good competitor.
This team won this, Middaugh won this Bonspiel last year, and
yeah,
wasn't much he didn't win last year, I suppose, except for the Purple Heart.
Well, I remember this Spiel last year because he beat me in the finals. So,
that's right. That's right. So if we could just get him to go somewhere else, he'd probably do okay here.
Yeah, that's right. I was a little disappointed to hear that he was going to be playing in this Bonspiel this year. So, yeah, he's one of the guys you try to avoid.
Yeah, I'm sure. Ian Tetley now trying to play the come around on the center guard. McCarrol, Bailey, working hard on the stone out there.
Not only is Scott a great curler, he's also a great sweeper. You can see right there, he's just fantastic.
Very strong, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He got that rock by. He'll sweep like that from the first end right through the 10th end.
Now Lobel looking for the run back. Get rid of that center guard for sure.
Yeah, again, if Rob can just keep it pretty simple, he's only one down. Just run some rocks here, and there's a great shot. Just
good double.
Yeah, just play his way towards the end of the game and keep himself in it.
No hesitation there on Middaugh's part. He's hidden there when you see him, and he's going to play the come around that center guard once again. And it's Ian Tetley with the delivery. That stone appeared to be a little wide, indicated Middaugh, but must be coming a bit now, Bailey, or unless they're souping it for weight. McCarrol putting the brooms to it.
Yeah, the ice is really sensitive. If you just have any in-out movement at all in your curling release, the rock just won't finish. And see, Ian's weight there was perfect. It just wouldn't come up for him.
Well by the guard, wide open now for Lobel.
Well, this is Rob's chance here to get his 2, if he can get a little inside roll.
This one appears to be well out, although here they go, the sweeper's catching back up to it. I guess they're going to roll the other way. But on the nose. Graeme McCarrol looking for some help here and a little bit of instructions. Just want to clarify. That's another very important part of the game, I guess, is just the communication between the thrower and the skip. Making sure you're both on the same wavelength in terms of weight and broom.
Yeah, that's for sure. Wayne just called for a soft shot there, and Graeme was just confirming that that's in fact what he wanted. And you can see here he's just throwing a little board weight, hit and roll, and pretty good, almost perfect.
Bit of an inside roll, maybe the inside corner of it tucked, but another foot and he's golden, I guess. That's not bad, though. I guess in these days, with so many good runbacks, you don't want to leave the perfect dead behind, do you, in a lot of cases? Yeah,
that's right. Yesterday, we were playing against Indy Cap, and the 9th end, I remember if I had a hit and rolled perfectly buried, it would have been the worst thing I could have done. And it actually wasn't until after I shot that stone that Nick Rizzo, my third, pointed out that if we make it that good, he makes the straight back raise, and then we're in trouble.
Dreaded little click there, and all of a sudden things are switching around. Lobel racks on his come around attempt, and now Wayne has the advantage. Playing a center guard, or not a center guard, but guarding his shot stone there, the red one at the bottom of your screen. The 4th end here, Middaugh up 2-1. Lobel with last rock. And this one appears to be pretty good, maybe curling a bit too much. Pretty good shot there from Graeme McCarrol. Very quickly, Team Lobel now looking for the double kill here. Got one. Will the other one hang around? 12 foot, out in the 12 foot.
Well, that's a pretty good shot. He got rid of the stone that was buried, and Rob's kind of controlling the front here now. He's got his 2 yellow rocks just out short of the ring, so things don't look too bad. This is another one of those situations where if Wayne makes it perfectly buried, Rob makes a good run back, he's set up for his 2 points.
I'm sure that's what the two are looking for, just getting the proper ice here, Middaugh and McCarrol. And now Graeme, you can see, has the broom, the corner of the 4 foot. He'll be coming around that one on the right of your screen at the top, the yellow stone. Middaugh's first rock here in N4. You mentioned Andy Cap's team. That's the little bit of international flavor here this year at Weston. We have a number of teams from Europe. Cap, of course, runner-up in the World Championships last year. And one of the teams that'll be playing down in the German playdowns for their Olympic representation.
Yeah, they're a good team. We took them right to the 10th end and snuck a win out against them yet on Friday. And they were a good, solid team. And as you said, lost the World Final last year. And they're probably the big team in their country right now to make it to the Olympics. And they're over here getting some practice, getting ready for the their Olympic trials. And they're really good guys too. It's nice to see them here.
Coached by a Canadian expatriate, Keith Wendorf, who represented Germany 7 times in the World Championship. But Middaugh, meanwhile, in here in this end, changed the shot, tried to come around the outside, and is a little bit heavy. This could be disastrous. Probably just hanging on in the back there.
Yeah, well, that certainly opens the door for Rob. Wayne let him off the hook there a little bit by sliding to the back of the rings.
Just a different path that perhaps Wayne wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, I think Wayne thought it was probably pretty keen out there, and the ice maker scraped prior to the game, so it's pretty consistent all the way around.
And you can see that Steve Lobel's holding the broom for brother Rob. Try and play the outside in, come around. Basically the same shot that Wayne was attempting. See Wayne and Graeme at the back there talking that shot over that last shot. Not what you normally expect from Wayne.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised actually that Rob's playing this shot. I think maybe he'd be best off maybe to play the tap on the front stone to get it buried. He indicated to come to the back one, so this is an interesting call. Maybe they know the ice will bend here a little bit and they can get it around cover.
Certainly if you can get around the one out there, he'll be buried in the 4-foot. Weight looks pretty good. And he's by. Now will it finish?
Yeah, really good shot.
Fine shot there. Full 4, more or less buried. Looks like Wayne's only option is what he's looking at is to come around from the other side, perhaps lock one on.
Yeah, even if Wayne throws this one to the top of the 4-foot, just biting the 4-foot, Rob's going to have a tough time getting his 2 points. So he'll just take a little bit off this one. And
some room for error here then if he's not perfectly locked.
Yeah, that's right. If he can just get her half buried, Rob's going to have a really tough shot, maybe a raise or a wide out-turn draw for his 2.
Final stone here in the 4th end. Wayne Middaugh. For Wayne Middaugh. Rob Lobel with the brick. Ian Tetley, Scott Bailey keeping an eye on it. The weight looks pretty good. It's not moving over quite as much as I think he would hope. But here it comes. Here it comes. Wow. Is that any good? Shot rock, top of the 4-foot. And now Rob Lobel is not a question of how can I get 2, but perhaps how can I get 1.
Yeah, he's got his hands full here now. I'm not sure if he throws a little soft shot, he can get by that guard to get his 2 points. Well, there might be enough room there. He can throw back 8 weight and get his 2. Taking a little bit more ice than we have most of the weekend. So again, it looks like the ice is curling pretty good.
Middaugh threw in there just short of the button. And there is room, it looks like, from our angle anyway. From here, we can see that you're right. If he's perfect with the weight, might be able to sneak by, tap it back. Final stone here, 4th end. Middaugh currently up 2-1. Lobel looking for a deuce. This one's starting to make a move. Will they get it by? Will they get it by?
Looks good from here. Oh, great shot.
Perfect shot and a deuce for Team Lobel. move back out in front, 3-2 at the end of 4 ends here at the National Sports Curling Classic at Weston. Great touch there. That was sort of a perfect combination of weight and line again.
Well, yeah, and he has to hand it to his front end there too for sweeping that stone. They scrubbed that the whole way down, and they just got it by the guard. So good shot. That's why they're there.
Yeah, that's right. There's not many easy games anymore when you get into cash bills, are there? Very few.
No, it really is a long, long, grueling contest. There's so many good teams out there, and with this free guard zone, it's if you get up a couple points, the other team's still in the game. It's you never can give up. So the cash spiels are long bond spiels. It's a long process to make it to where these two teams have today. So.
I guess a lot of flexibility in your job to get time off, a lot of commitment in terms of dollars, entry fees, traveling costs, family time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big commitment to curl and the World Curling Tour and play competitively. And of course, you have to have a career going where they're supportive of your chosen second occupation, I should say. And and I know with myself being a Halton Regional Police Officer, they've been great over the years. Curling with Russ Howard, lots of time off I've needed. But it takes a lot of money, and you need a sponsor, and you need sponsors like National Sports and to be involved in these events. Otherwise, these events aren't going to go. So without them, curling isn't going to survive, and it's you need that.
Right away here, end 5. Lobel went back to the same tactics we've seen. He threw the first rock into the rings. And I think Wayne Middaugh was probably looking for a corner guard there, was he? That one slipped a little bit deep. Yeah, again, the ice looks like it's pretty keen, and they haven't really picked up on it yet. Scotty usually is right on with his guards and his draw weight. And again, this is a bit of an advantage for Rob. He'll just try and keep it simple and keep hitting and try and force Wayne to 1 point. And again, you're going to see Wayne start playing some bumps and taps and some freezes here to get his 2 points. There's the call. You see, just tap that shooter back, or that second shot stone there. Just tap it back behind the tee line. Here's the man he's hoping can do it, Scott Bailey. Good balance on that delivery. That's a nice delivery, isn't it? Yeah, Scott's got a real sound slide, and he his big thing is just getting his weight, because his delivery is so sound. He's always slides out in the broom. It's just a matter of finding the right touch. This one appears to be pretty good. Just what the doctor ordered. Will it hang around? A little heavy. Yeah, Scott's just struggling a little bit with his draw weight. Just can't seem to find the right speed. The women's final between Kathy Brown and Grisilla Gritching, is tied at 2, currently playing the 4th end. We will keep you updated on that game as we go along here. Our feature match, the men's final between Wayne Middaugh, Rob Lobel, here at the Weston Golf and Country Club. And now Middaugh again looking for that little tap back. Seems to me that Wayne would like nothing more than to have about 16 rocks in play every end. Is that kind of his style? Yeah, he likes to play aggressive, and the big thing about this here now is Wayne's going to keep tapping rocks back, and he's not afraid to draw against a lot of points. The big worry here is tapping rocks back, and if Rob's team keeps picking them out, Wayne could have a draw against 4 or 5, and but Wayne's not afraid of that. He'll just keep tapping them back, and if he has to draw against 5, he'll do it. So. Although we saw last end, he was a little long with his draw attempt there. Is that going to play in the back of his mind at all, do you think? I don't think so. He made his next one right after that, and Wayne will just keep tapping the back here, and what he's trying to do is create a big wall of yellow stones, of Rob Lobel stones, and then he only takes 1 freeze and he gets his 2 points back. You see again, I'll be surprised if Wayne plays a double here. He'll probably try again to tap these stones back. There's an interesting call. He's looking perhaps at the long hit and roll here, hitting the one out in the wings, rolling back into the center. I think
yeah,
Ian's nixed that.
Yeah, I don't think Wayne would play that shot. If you ever miss it and they throw a guard on those two stones, Wayne's going to have to start bailing. Well, he's going to hit it.
Ian Tetley now in the hack, throwing the high hard one here. Jams it.
Yeah, he's getting tired. It's early in the season. He's not in shape. They're up 5-4. They're getting rid of Garrett. They're putting in a real.
And again, Lobel just going to try and get rid of as many red rocks as he can. I'm
That's
sure.
right. Any red stones in those rings now, he's just going to keep trying to get them out of there. So.
Here's Steve Lobel now with his first shot in this fifth end, the halfway mark.
And we made curling history. The only time in the history of curling that two Garretts on the same sheet.
And nose hit, just what was called for now.
Garrett Kilby is leaving our team.
Lobel obviously trying to keep them all at the top of the house. And Wayne wants him at the back, right?
Yeah, Rob's going to try and control the front. It's kind of looking in his favor here now, and Graeme will just fire a bullet down here and rattle a couple of stones around.
Got them all moving anyway. And that sure changed the complexion of the end there.
Yeah, that helps Wayne out a little bit. Rob will again just try and hit and stay on this stone, and what he's trying to do is force Wayne to one here.
That last shot, was that an indication now that that Wayne has decided to perhaps abandon a little bit of the strategy? Perhaps he's trying to look for the blank?
Yeah, absolutely. Wayne will try and maybe get a hit and roll here, but he was looking in a little bit of trouble, so he was trying to clear some stones out, and getting the blank isn't that bad of an option because Wayne will again go aggressive in the sixth end. So
he's looking for the hit and roll in front here, perhaps. And what are you indicating to Graeme McCarrol?
Again, Wayne plays very aggressive. This is a key shot for Graeme. If he ever hits and rolls out, it gives Rob an opportunity to throw a guard right on that rock that's sitting right on the button. So.
And this one is not perhaps moving over as much as he'd like. He's going to get a piece. Will he stick around, though? Well, as you suggest now, Peter, the pendulum of momentum has swung back to the Lobel team. See if they can capitalize on it. At this level, I guess, I mean, the mistakes are so few that you really have to jump on it when you get the chance, don't you?
Well, especially playing Wayne's team. They've missed a few shots this end, and Wayne missed a shot the last end, and that is very rare for that squad to do. So if Rob can capitalize with that and throw one nice and short and tight to the rings here, he's got a good chance at a steal.
Skip rocks here, the fifth end. And Steve Lobel holding the broom, looking for brother Rob to throw a guard on that shot stone. Going to the other handle there. Any reason with that? Just a little more of the curl there, perhaps, or?
I don't know. We really only saw some interns going down away from the glass, so I'm surprised he's playing the outturn, but he probably knows it and feels confident with this a little better.
We'll soon find out. Here's the shot on its way. Light dusting there by the front end.
This one's curling too. It looks pretty good.
The line is good. Would you like it a little closer than that?
Yeah, I think you'd probably want it right on the center line, a foot or short of the rings, and that would force Wayne to play a straight back raise or a really delicate come around. Even now, Wayne has a pretty tough shot.
He's looking at the freeze on top. And here's Graeme McCarrol holding the broom right at the edge of the 4-foot. And not much conversation or discussion or weight. He's in the hack. He's throwing, as you said, one of the fastest guns in the game.
Yeah, Wayne got that started a little bit. That's really curling.
Sweepers seem to maybe have backed it off a touch. Now they're back on, and it's really moving now. Good looking shot. Great sweep in there.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Rob's going to have to follow him down here now and tap it back an inch.
What a difference two good sweepers can make, though.
Oh, absolutely. Scott and Ian are just unbelievable. They can hold stones. This morning in our game, a couple times I thought Wayne had wrecked on some come-arounds, and Scott and Ian held them there, and it's they are just fantastic sweepers. And Wayne knows he will never, ever, very seldom throw a rock wide because he knows that Scott and Ian can hold the line pretty good.
Again, another element of the confidence level, I guess, when you're with this kind of a team. We talked about the shooting aspect, but now when you have that little added advantage of the big brooms, makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. They are two of the best sweepers around, and Wayne has all the confidence in the world in them.
Little discussion over the line here between the brothers Lobel, and now they seem to have settled. Looks like almost the same line that Wayne was looking at originally, although we mentioned that he probably got it started a bit.
Yeah, if Rob can just just freeze to the face of Wayne's, Wayne's going to have to hit at least half the 4-foot for his 2 points. So
Lobel leading the contest 3-2 here in end 5. And he wasn't narrow.
No, that's certainly taken its time. His weight looks pretty good.
Delicate shot here. Doesn't want the bounce, I'm sure. Little opening there, it looks like.
Yeah, he just punched it about an inch or two to the left, and it leaves Wayne a little tap back for his 2 points.
So final rock of end 5 here now. Wayne Middaugh in the hack looking to remove that yellow stone, score his deuce, and regain the lead. Sweepers jumped on it, but that one's taking its time as well. Boy, a jam here could be deadly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's definitely high-sided it. Get up and steal it too.
Wow, what a jam there. What a turn of events. And 2 for Lobel here in end 5. Certainly not predicted, but I'm sure he'll welcome it. 5-2 now here after 5 ends, and we'll be back with more of the National Sports Curling Classic. action here in the 6th end of play. Rob Lobel leading Wayne Middaugh here 5-2 at the National Sports Curling Classic at the Weston Golf and Country Club. What a turn of events there, Peter. That's a big switch. You don't think that Wayne Middaugh is going to do that. Now he turned his first one a little bit. Was there a natural reaction perhaps to guard against that with your second one?
Yeah, possibly. I think he just threw his second one really clean. I think that was the only difference. I just think he had a little bit too much weight. After looking at it now, I didn't even think a steal of 2 was even a possibility there. And,
I don't think certainly Wayne did.
No, and I don't think Wayne did either. So he's not going to be happy, and you're going to see him really go hard here the next few ends.
Bob Weeks along with Peter Corner here, bringing you the action from Weston. We're in the 6th end of play, and perhaps somewhat of a surprise, Rob Lobel in the lead, 5-2. Take nothing away from Rob Lobel, though. They're good curlers. They've won their fair share of events. They've won the Brampton Bacardi. They've won the Kitchener Bonspiel. I know they've won the Canada Life, or now the Investors 2 or 3 times. So they certainly know the game.
Oh, for sure. Rob and his brother have been around a long time, and he's got a solid team here. His front end looks good, and I know actually Rob and this team beat Wayne in the final of the Brampton Bonspiel, so they're not unfamiliar with playing each other, and Wayne knows that Rob can play. Wayne played Rob years ago in junior curling, and he's been around the circuit in Ontario for a long time, so he looks pretty good. He's throwing it really well, and Wayne's got his hands full.
As you suggested, Wayne's going to, I'm sure, come right after him. Again, though, Scott Bailey a little heavy with his draw weight, perhaps?
Yeah, Scott's struggling with his draw weight, and that's usually one of Wayne's arsenals right there. Scott would freeze that right on the face, and
instead he bounces off at the back of the 4, and not what you'd expect, I guess. Certainly not what he usually delivers for Scott Bailey, but Lobel now, will he run this out, hit and roll out, do you think? He doesn't want too many rocks and play at the back, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think the best shot here would be peel this right out, and Wayne will just keep trying to freeze.
And there it is. Hit and roll. And now Ian Tetley will have a chance to lock one on here.
Rob knows he's got his hands full. He's got 3-point lead and 5 ends to go, and it probably seems like forever out there right now, and he knows that Wayne's going to be coming after him pretty hard here.
I was going to say, this is sort of a bit like having a tiger by the tail, isn't it? It's great to have the lead, but you know, there's probably no one more aggressive than Wayne.
That's right.
And boys are working this one pretty hard. Little short, still a good shot, though. I guess they'll make use of that, or hope to make use of it.
Yeah, again, Rob will try and peel that out of there. I think Wayne would probably like it at least a foot or 2 deeper.
Top 4 foot minimum, sort of.
Yeah.
And there it is. Not too many teams miss those peels these days. Of course, the ice condition's so good. Very few hair brooms anymore. You throw the rock on the broom, it's generally pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. The ice here is, you know, when you pick the weight up a little bit, it's pretty straight. And Rob's front end and Wayne's team, they all throw a lot of weight. So provided they hit the broom, they're gonna remove rocks pretty easily. This one looks a little better here now.
Ian Tetley's second stone here in the 6th end. And this one's sliding certainly into the rings. Deeper than his last one and a little bit of a bump. Not much. Good shot there. In a case like this, I guess Rob doesn't really mind losing that back one, does he?
Well, if he peels everything here, the best thing to do is maybe hit about 3/4 of that red rock and peel the red one plus your back yellow one. If he peels everything, Wayne's just going to go around the corner guard.
And he just just delicately slides the red one out. Shooter spills, and Middaugh now will hold the broom for Graeme McCarrol, who will attempt the freeze.
This is basically the same situation I was in this morning with Wayne. He had a couple-point lead on us, and we tried making freezes and throwing corner guards, and Wayne's team just kept peeling away, and it was really tough to get back in the game.
The freeze, perhaps the most difficult shot in curling, at least the perfect freeze. Agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. The perfect freeze is very difficult, and on this ice here, you have to be very, very precise on the broom. Otherwise, you're going to be a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right of the stone, and the way these teams peel, that's just not good enough. You got to be flush, right, frozen to the face.
And that one again, a little firm, more of a gap than we saw in the last attempt. And very quickly, here we are. This end's going by in a hurry. Steve Lobel now looking for the peel. No problems there. Now, at what point does Wayne say, well, I'm not going to freeze, I'm going to go behind the corner at any point?
Well, I don't know if he can. I don't think the rock will curl behind the corner guard. I think that if there was a bit of swing there and Wayne could fully bury behind the corner guard, he would have
been there earlier.
He would have done it by now.
And Graeme McCarrol now looking for this elusive freeze, or at least close enough where it'll be a little bit troublesome for Lobel to peel it out.
Just a pound heavy here again. It's a pretty good shot.
The ice traditionally here at Weston is pretty slick, and usually a little straighter, but Don Powell, the ice maker here, has, as we mentioned throughout the broadcast, managed to put a little swing in it, and that's added a little more to the game so far today. We're into skip rocks here, sixth end. Rob Lobel in the hack. Steve Lobel there, you see, holding the broom. They're trying to peel that red rock out of there. So far, the Thornhill team has been perfect this end. And everything goes this time.
Well, Wayne only has one option now, and that's try and get one around that corner guard. And you can see he's taking the broom right on the center line, so it's about 1.5 foot of curl.
Yeah, not much room there, boy. Graeme McCarrol there, holding the broom. Played in a Brier with Ed Wernick, or with Paul Savage, I believe. Ed Wernick a few years back in Chicoutimi. Scott Bailey, I guess the only member of this team without a Purple Heart.
Yeah, they've been close. I know Scott's really looking forward to the Olympic trials, because that'll be just as good as a Brier. And he deserves it. He's been around, and he's played very well for Wayne. So.
And this one again sliding to the back rings. Will it hold on? Wow.
I don't think it did. I think it just slipped a little too far.
Very uncharacteristic for this Middaugh team with these sort of half shots, isn't it?
Yeah, they're struggling this game. They're not. They've had a few errors so far, and that's not like them. From maybe it is just biting on the back of the rings there. Looks like Rob's going to play a little soft shot and just try and tap it out.
This will be his last stone here in 6. He is currently leading 5-2 over Wayne Middaugh. Now consulting with the front end just to make sure the weight. He's been pretty good almost all game. Certainly got a little bit of a break last end.
Well, he got that one started, and it's curling right away. He's got to be careful he doesn't raise Wayne in here.
That really tucked it. Is there any? Do you think that could have picked something, or is it just caught his wrist?
Yeah, that had to have picked. Actually, initially it looked like that he turned it in, but there's no way it can curl that far. So a bit of a break for Wayne. If that back one's on, he's drawn for 2 here.
Boy, some Gaston and Alphonse here. The breaks handing back and forth to each of the teams. Sudden turnarounds here in 5 and 6. Lobel with a deuce stolen in 5, and now it looks like Middaugh will pick up his deuce right back. All he has to do is hit the paint.
Well, that's a bad break for Rob and his team. They've been just very solid to this point and have had Wayne on the ropes. So basically that's letting Wayne right back in the game.
It's always amazing, as we were mentioning before. There's no hair brooms out here. there's very little. You don't know what the dirt is. Everyone sort of cleans their shoes, but every once in a while you pick something up like that, and it just.
This one's not light either. This could be through the house.
It's got some steam on it, doesn't it? Well, few clenched muscles there, I'm sure, as Wayne watched that one finally stop at the back. So a deuce for Middaugh, and he trails now 5-4 over Rob Lobel. You can see the team here, the Middaugh team, talking, chatting, consulting, trying to figure out what's going on, but they're, regardless of the situation, they're right back in it, even though they perhaps haven't played as well as we normally see them play.
Yeah, they certainly are not at the top of their game to this point, but that was a big break, and they're still in it, and they seem to be fighting the weight just a little bit. It looks really keen, so.
Well, it's not uncommon here to have 25 or even 26-second ice. That's from the hog line to the tee line, but maybe a little quicker than what they've been playing with all week, I guess.
Yeah, it was a little bit slower than that this morning, and Wayne's obviously hasn't picked up on it yet, and I'm surprised because he generally likes really fast curling ice.
In his other life, Wayne has been an ice maker. Now a golf pro. He was an assistant at St. George's. Now the head professional at Midland. That's a pretty good job if you're a curler.
Yeah, he's got the ideal life, I think. I worked for Wayne actually a couple days a month up at Midland. Got to play his golf course and had a really good time up there. I know the members really enjoy him, and he's got it made. Gets to play a little bit of golf in the summer and gets to curl in the winter.
Few guys have done that. Notably, one of your former skips, Russ Howard, of course, up in across the town in Midland at the Brookley Golf Club. Russ, of course, skipping another team that will be at the Olympic trials in Brandon in the last week of November. He's actually in an interesting situation this year where his front end will be different from the Olympic trials than it will be for the rest of the year.
Yeah, Russ and his team, I guess, had a little bit of a falling out, and Russ is going to be curling with a couple of different players throughout the year, Noel Heron and Steve Small, and he's going to reunite with his team that he won the World Curling Tour Championship with last year and play in the Olympic trials.
Be interesting to see what would happen if that team won the Olympic trials.
Yeah.
There's a few tense moments in there when they get together, aren't there?
Well, it's quite possible they can, because I know Russ, when he walks out in the ice at the Olympic trials and he's got 4,000 or 5,000 fans there, he's gonna be pumped up to curl, and if they get it going, and they could win it.
Not too many weak ones in that field there, men's or women's side.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm curling in a couple other bonspiels because I'd love to go out there and watch it for the week, because it's going to be a fantastic event.
Some of the other notable names on the men's side, of course, Kerry Burtnick, Jeff Stoughton, Dave Smith, I guess, is another team. Kevin Martin, of course, Kevin Park, which is another dissension story in the ranks there. They've fired their third, Doran Johnson, and I think there's some legal ramifications going on there as we watch Team Middaugh here scrubbed pretty hard to get a long guard over. Not quite. Women's side, Marilyn Bodo, Allison Goring, Sandra Schmerler, Connie Laliberty. It's going to be something to watch.
Yeah, you couldn't handpick a better field for the men and the women's. There's some great teams, and again, the ice will probably be perfect, and you're going to see some phenomenal shot making.
Action here in the 7th end of the National Sports Curling Classic at the Weston Golf and Country Club. Bob Weeks along with Peter Corner here bringing you the action. Right now, Rob Lobel with a 5-4 lead over Wayne Middaugh. The women's side, we should point out, Kathy Brown has a 3-2 lead over Grazilia Gritching from Leukerbad, Switzerland. That one a fairly defensive struggle. 2 blank ends so far, and seems to be a little bit of a slower struggle. Of course, the 2 teams that we're watching, the men's teams, fairly quick. They seem to be in the hack, ready to go.
Well, we saw Ian just hog a rock there, trying to guard one on the forefoot. So again, they're still struggling with their weight.
He's not heavy again here, is he?
Well, here's a real aggressive move by Wayne by throwing a center guard here. I think that you're going to see Rob will probably peel it, but if he goes around it, he's got Wayne in big trouble.
He's sitting one way out in the wings there, not guarded. Another corner guard up top, and see Steve Small, or Steve Lobel, looking for him to go around it.
I think the best shot here would be the out-turn come around. He doesn't want to leave Wayne a hit and roll to get himself out of the end, but he's going with the in-turn. I guess it moves here pretty good. He can probably dead bury it.
Haven't seen too many weak shots here that have cost them anyway, the Lobel team. And this one, though, well out there at the moment. And it doesn't look like it's all that light.
No, the sweepers are bailing off, so it looks like it's sliding pretty good.
Now, normally this is the kind of miss that Wayne Middaugh would pounce on.
You're going to see Graeme McCarrol bury one here. There's no doubt. He's going to sink one right around that center guard.
Again, coming with the in-turn. Middaugh sort of asking the in-turn or out-turn here what McCarrol wants to play. He got the call in the out-turn, and I think Middaugh was happy with that, gave it the thumbs up.
Yeah, that's another communication incident there where Wayne just basically left it to Graeme. What do you want to do? And Graeme said the out-turn, and Wayne put the broom down.
The line is pretty good. The sweeper's going hard on it. We know it moves here. We've seen some movement here, or a little bit of movement here earlier anyway. And just a hair short. Line was perfect there. That would have been a nice one to sink in there, as you mentioned. Again, though, struggling.
Well, just a little heavier and on the outside, and that rock didn't slide like the rest of them have been down the center, and come up a little short. Another good chance here for Rob's team if Steve can bury this one on the top of the rings. Wayne's in trouble.
And this one by and in good shape.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Not completely buried. I'm surprised. Would you have thought they might have swept that one right to the end, get the finish?
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't finish that one off. They take that another 6 inches deeper, and he's dead buried, and Wayne's freezing or trying to run some guards back.
As it is McCarrol now, Graeme McCarrol will be looking at a little hit and roll, delicate down weight.
This one's got some curling to do.
He's got a piece. How much? Well, enough to get it out. I'm sure Wayne would have loved to have saved the shooter, though.
Yeah, if Graeme could have hit and rolled behind the corner guard, he would have been out of the end. But as it stands, if Steve Lobel can bury this one, we're down to skip rocks.
Steve and Rob have played together for a long time. I guess that's obviously an advantage. You played with Wayne Middaugh for quite a long time, I know, and I guess when you get familiar with someone's habits, someone's style, it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, absolutely. With in Wayne's case, with us playing together, we were always aggressive, and that carried over with playing with Russ and Glenn Howard for so many years. We just took the aggressive approach, and I pretty much know what Wayne's going to do when I play him, and same with Steve and Rob. They both know exactly how each other throws it, and they're a good team.
Well, a little miss there, rack on the guard, and Middaugh now has a chance to get out of a little bit of trouble here. He's going to play the takeout on the rock way out in the wings. Graeme McCarrol having a look, and Middaugh with delivery.
Yeah, well, this one looks good here. We can get the inside roll. He's in great shape.
Usually when you get that on-off with the sweepers, you're usually pretty close, and there you see it. Will it roll too much now into the open? Well, hard to tell from that shot there if you can see any of it, maybe a little bit of it. But pretty good shot.
Yeah, I might have rolled an inch or two too far, but still puts the pressure on Rob to make a good one here. Again, the ice is pretty straight in spots, so he's got to be careful here. He doesn't set one a little wide.
Well, we saw that shot down this path a little bit earlier, 2 ends ago, where Rob was just a shade heavy, bounced out. He ended up getting the 2 points on the steal, but a little bit of a different shot down, a little heavier, I'm sure, here with this one.
Yeah, he's just coming off the center line a little bit, so there should be a little bit of swing here. He should be okay. He'll be trying to get the roll to the right buried behind Wayne's 2 red rocks.
Rob Lobel looking for the hit and roll. Now the sweepers jump on it. He's by the guard. This looks like a dandy.
Oh, what a great shot.
Perfectly buried behind the red stones there. What a great shot by Rob Lobel. Now if you're Wayne Middaugh, what do you look at? Perhaps the run back if you can see it?
If it's there, I think that's all he's got. He really can't afford to be dropping a deuce here. But if there's enough room there, I think you'll see Wayne try and run her straight back and peel that rock out of there.
Interesting, we saw Scott Bailey. He just sort of stands back at the back. He doesn't really get involved in the discussion. There's a lot of cooks in that kitchen.
Yeah, Scott, he throws his 2 rocks, he puts his head down, he sweeps, and
right.
That's the extent of it for Scott. I think Graeme or Ian does most of the talking for all of them. So.
Yeah. Well, Wayne's chosen to play a little bit of a come around here. Surprised at this call?
Yeah, I am. Mind you, if he sits it in the top of the rings half buried, Rob has a tough one for us too, but this is hanging way out.
Needs to do some curling and some, I was going to say full flaps, but the weight probably wasn't too bad, but that's, again, another uncharacteristic miss there by Team Middaugh and by Wayne.
Yeah, it looks like Wayne's struggling a little bit with the ice. He had an awful lot of broom there, and that didn't curl at all. He also was heavy too, so Wayne just played this morning. You figure he'd have this ice down, but he's really having a tough go here.
So draw for a deuce here. And getting into the late ends here, the control certainly running out of time a little bit here, but the control has all been with Lobel so far.
Yeah, if Rob can make this draw, he certainly has full control of the game. 3 up playing the 8th end, and
this, of course, the sweepers just gave a little indication this might be a little warm. Full flaps needed.
Yeah, they're not touching this one. It's sliding pretty good. He's absolutely asked to make this.
And it will not. Slips through, boy. Another mistake.
Well, he just let Wayne right back in the game again.
So he takes one, goes up 6-4 after 7 ends. That was a freebie that you don't want to, certainly against Wayne Middaugh, you don't want to, even as he's playing, but you certainly don't want to hand things like that to him, do you?
No, that's a big miss. He just had to hit the rings and just gave it a little bit extra. 2 up isn't a safe lead against Wayne with 3 ends to go.
I don't know if 9 up is a safe end. Safe with 1 end to go. And boy, it's a tough one out here today. Both teams missing some opportunities. 6-4 though, the score now. Lobel leading Wayne Middaugh, National Sports Curling Classic, the Weston Golf and Country Club. Bob Weeks along with Peter Corner here, bringing you the action on Rogers. And we have Lobel has pretty consistently throughout, when he's had not had last rock, he's thrown the first one into the rings. Not very often has he's elected to throw up the guard.
Yeah, that's kind of the defensive call, throw it in the rings. At this stage of the game, being in the 8th end, he doesn't want to get too many rocks out front. So if he gets them into the house, and he knows Wayne's going to try and throw a corner guard, so he's taking a bit of a defensive approach here now. He doesn't want to get into trouble.
Now, if you're Wayne Middaugh, is there anything you can do to kind of, to kickstart your team, or you just kind of hope that all of a sudden they catch on to the weight?
Well, I think it's just a matter of them picking it up. There's nothing Wayne can do. They're just struggling a little bit with the weight, and it's just a matter of finding it. It only takes 1 draw to find your weight. And again, another way to find your weight is by getting a big break, and Wayne just got that by Rob missing that shot. So that'll make Wayne's team just bear down that little bit extra.
Rob Lobel now looking for a little tap, and this one has a bit of steam on it as well. Sliding to the back of the 12-foot. And again, as we saw earlier in the ends, Middaugh looking for a little tap back, try to get those stones behind the tee line, build that wall.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bad miss by Rob's team. He's actually played right into Wayne's hand by sliding a little deep.
Would they have been wise to take that right through, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they get that through. It's a little bit of a help, but
Scott Bailey's shot here, and that's a little bit better weight.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Rob has to navigate a hole here now by punching this rock through to Wayne's basically trying to set himself up to get Rob to jam one and get back in the game with a deuce.
Looking for the hit here, and pounding it all the way through the hole. Leaves the stone in the center guard. We have preferred to roll that one a bit.
No,
I wants control of the center.
Yeah, that's a good call. He's controlling the front now, and he hits and rolls away. Wayne's just going to play a freeze or another tap back. So that's a rock that he can use later on in the end.
Middaugh calling for the freeze there on the one that you see at the far right of your screen. That's the shot stone at the moment, and looking for Ian Tetley to lock one on. again, the sweeper's dropping off a bit. Now back on it.
Well, I think he's playing a little chap and lie here now.
There's the bump.
That's a good shot.
And again, things getting a little bit crowded at the back of the rings there. Rob Lobel looking for a appeal of this one. And nose hit.
Oh, that's a good shot.
Getting kind of crowded in there with yellow stones.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Wayne does here. He may play a little hit and roll or another tap back. Yeah, he's calling for the tap back, so he bumps this straight back, and there's a nice wall of yellow stones at the back of the rings.
I guess you might need that with the draw weight he's had. He might want some backing. Well, you're not supposed to throw to that, are you? Ian Tetley's second stone here. In number 8, the National Sports Curling Classic. $5,000 to the winner, $2,500 to the runner-up. May got this one a little bit wide and spills the yellow one in, rolls from the rings. Ooh, it's kind of ugly.
Yeah, that is just not Ian Tetley. He is really struggling. Where was that this morning?
Yeah, right.
he was absolutely flawless this morning. I don't think he missed a shot, and he's really having a tough go of it here this afternoon.
You saw them talking at the back behind the rings there, and seemed to indicate Wayne Middaugh talking to Ian that perhaps he was a little bit wide. But they're certainly scratching their heads. Now Steve Lobel will try a little promotion here. Tap on that center one.
Yeah, he'll try and get this one back to the top of the forefoot. Again, this is a situation where the more the rocks in play are may work in Wayne's favor. It only takes one hit and roll or one freeze, and Wayne will be able to get his deuce back. And
the weight looks pretty good here on this shot. Maybe a little warm.
A little heavy. That actually helps Wayne a little bit.
3 rocks behind the tee line, 1 in front, and the one in front is wide open. Graeme McCarrol now looking for a little hit and roll. And sweeper's working hard here. This one seems to be over curling a bit.
It's an ever.
Boy. That one just slides through, and it hangs in there for second shot. But again, well out into the wings. And certainly wide open for Rob Lobel. Asking brother Steve for the intern hit here. I guess there's some indication here on where you want to leave it. As you were saying, when the things start to get a little bit crowded, it can be tough to find places for all those rocks.
Yeah, I'd be trying to get a little hit and roll here to the center line.
And sweeper is well off this one.
Threw lots of weight.
Got the hit anyway. Oh, good shot.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Great shot. Rolls right to the button, buried. And now Wayne Middaugh. What do you do? Well, he's having a look.
Well, this is a surprising call. This is he's basically to do or die here. He doesn't make this, Graeme doesn't make this shot, Wayne's in big trouble. But again, he plays it, expecting Graeme to make it, and if he makes it, he gets his 2 points. So,
well, Graeme's now asking for the other turn. As we mentioned, Graeme has all the shots in his in his quiver. He's got the high, hard one, the soft one, and now leads a big one here. Looking for the raise. Brock needs to do a little more curling. He's pretty close. He's close. Wow, not a bad shot at all. That kind of puts a little bit of a finger in the dike anyway.
Yeah, great weight. Super weight. Wayne was planning an angle raise freeze there. And just had to curl another inch, but that's pretty good.
Those are the kind of shots you call all the time, aren't they? Angle raise freezes.
Yeah, yeah. They do anyways.
Yeah, right. Of course, the difference is that they make some of them.
That's right. You see Rob here, he just try and guard that red stone out front. And I can see Wayne what he's setting up here is Rob will end up guarding the red stone out front. Wayne will try and probably run that shot straight back and pick it off the pot.
So yellow to yellow.
Yellow to yellow, and that'll end up setting himself up for a possible deuce.
The rocks are just the rocks that were just out of the front of your vision there at the front of the rings. It's getting awfully crowded. This is really the first end we've seen this kind of a play, and there you see the red shot at the edge of the 4-foot that Graeme McCarrol just promoted. As Steve and Rob Lobel look over their options, you can't really hide everything, I suppose.
No, absolutely not. He really only has one option, and that's to guard that red stone out front, or partially guarded anyways, to eliminate Wayne from playing that same shot.
And there you see the rocks, and the red rock at the very bottom of the screen is the one you're going to be, that Rob will be trying to guard. There you see it. Red rock top right of your screen. Now bottom left. But the game gets pretty complicated when you're guarding angle raises that are 10 feet off the rings, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. But the scary thing is with Wayne's team is they can make them, but Rob's playing. They're playing really well, and if he can get this one out front and put some more pressure on Wayne, he's the only shot he's got is an angle raise.
Yeah, if you're leaving a guy an angle raise, I guess to try and get one or something, you're.
That must mean that your team's playing pretty good ahead of you, and that's exactly what's happening here. So, and this one looks good as well.
Freeze on that guard, I'm sure, would be pretty welcome. It's got to curl a little bit. Well, is the shot still there?
I'm not sure. It's pretty close.
He's really kind of narrowed things down on both those shots, hasn't he? The Yellowstone now sitting at 12 o'clock is, you were talking about before, perhaps for a double run back, or a run back and double takeout is kind of tight shot. Both of them are tight shots there. We're talking about the rocks there. You can see that Middaugh's broom now touching. He wants to try and move that one into the center of the rings.
By where he's putting the broom down, it looks like he might be throwing a little bit of weight at this. He might be trying to ram it back into that yellow stone on the button if he can.
I guess there's the way the yellow guard is. There's no. Well, I guess there's still a danger, I guess, of picking your own out, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a little bit. The only thing about this shot is he's trying to dead jam it, because he's definitely going to expose his red one that's guarded right now.
Sweeper's on it very quickly. Rock looks like it's moving. This one is really swinging. Close, close. Oh, just wrecks on the guard. And now spills out. Yeesh.
Wow, that was close. He makes that, and he's looking at getting 3.
Yeah, that was a very close shot, but again, not quite there. That one seemed to curl quite a bit. Were you surprised how much that moved?
Yeah, that really curled. Wayne took pretty tight ice. He had to run the inside edge of the rock.
Now you're not out of it yet. If you're Rob Lobel, what do you do here? You want to preserve your one, I'm sure. What's the best way to do that? Lock it right on top? No,
I just think his best shot here is to throw a guard out front, just blocking Wayne's out turn, come around. Wayne really doesn't have anything other than an angle raise. Yeah, right about there is perfect.
That's the indication. Steve Small, or Steve, keep calling him Steve Small ever since you mentioned that. Steve Lobel now holding the broom for brother Rob, looking for a guard here. Love to steal one, get that 1 point back that he missed. Free draw in 7. This is the 8th end. Rob Lobel's last rock here. Five yellow stones in the house, 1 red stone. Yellow, that being Lobel, lying 1, looking to protect that one.
No hesitation here. You're going to see Wayne play this angle raise. That's all he's got.
And it is a shot for 2, but a risky one as well. There is the chance you could double your own out. I suppose Wayne doesn't think about that very much.
No, Rob put a perfect guard on, and that's going to force Wayne to play a real tricky shot. I really don't see what else he has. He's taking really tight ice, so he's going to be throwing some weight at it. You're certainly right. He could pick his own out if he's not careful here.
Well, it could be all down to this shot, I suppose. If you don't make this one, you're really up against it. 2 down, or 3 down, I should say, with 2 to go. Is Wayne thinking this is sort of the game right here?
Well, I think if he makes it, you know, he's thinking maybe getting his 2 points here. He's not out of it if he misses it. But he knows 3 down is going to be a tough mountain to climb.
Well, not much time in the hack. Shots underway here.
Yeah, he was really tight on that.
Sweepers off now, and oh, just missed it, just across the face. So 1 point there for Rob Lobel, and he is now up to a 7-4 lead. And boy, not an insurmountable lead, but certainly a very strong lead. We'll talk about that, Peter, in just a moment. We'll be right back from the National Sports Curling Classic here. It's a 7-4 lead for Rob Lobel over Wayne Middaugh. We are back here now. National Sports Curling Classic, Weston Golf and Country Club. Bob Weeks along with Peter Corner. The final 2 ends, possibly, maybe less, here in the championship. And boy, what can we say? Wayne Middaugh and his team have not been on their game so far today. Rob Lobel in complete control. 2 ends to play. And I'm sure strategy now for Lobel, keep it clean. And for Wayne Middaugh, you got to get a deuce.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to hand it to Rob and his team. They have played really steady, and Rob's made the big shots. They've out-curled Wayne's team. That's all there is to it. His strategy is to keep it clean, absolutely, and at the very worst, give Wayne a deuce. Certainly doesn't want to give him a 3. So I think he would even concede him a 2 if that's the case right now. And Wayne, Wayne has to get 2. If he doesn't get 2, the game's pretty much over.
Well, here's the beauty of the free guard zone. Rob Lobel threw the first stones through, Mark. And now throwing the second one, Marcus Kuuter. Second shot through the rings. That rock you see at the top of the rings cannot be removed until the next shot for Lobel. And so Wayne will take an advantage of that and go right around.
Yeah, but by throwing those 2 stones through like he did, Rob is pretty much conceding his deuce. Wayne's going to have to play a perfect end to get his 2. And Rob's just gonna start peeling. Try and make a double and get out of the end.
Well, that's no easy task here. The Middaugh team not been perfect with their weight, although this one looks pretty, well, maybe a little warm. To the back rings again.
Yeah, that's okay. That basically all Wayne wanted there was just to get it buried.
Right. As you suggested, now up for the peel. And they'll be running the rocks from now on, that's for sure. Women's final, playing the 7th end, tied at 3. That's Kathy Brown from Sutton and Grisilla Gritching, Lukerbad, Switzerland. That a fairly defensive and tight struggle. A couple of blank ends, a couple singles, and 2 ends behind on the men's game here.
Yeah, they've kept it pretty clean over here for the first half of the game, and
really the last end was, as we said, was one of the few ones with a whole bunch of rocks in play.
Yeah, that's right. They're playing really fast. Rob seems to be playing really confident. He's not hesitating with any of his calls either. He's just out there. And
he looks very comfortable out there. He doesn't look, I mean, he looks like he's in charge. He knows what's going to happen. He knows how his team's playing. And here we're looking for the double. There's the run back double. That's a good shot, although he leaves the center guard up there.
Yeah, that's really not that bad because he runs the double, but he leaves his rock out front as opposed to Wayne's stone. So if he does get in trouble, that can always be a bailout where he can play a raise on his own stone as opposed to one of Wayne's. So that's a pretty good shot.
And again, looking for the come around from Ian Tetley. This rock beginning to move. And a pretty good shot there.
Yeah, perfect stone by Ian. Again, I'm not sure if he's playing the straight back here or he's just trying to peel it.
Already into third stones here. That's Steve Lobel in the 9th end, and he's going to get the peel no matter what he was calling for, but
that's probably the safer call of the two.
I guess your strategy is a little different when you're 3 up as opposed to when you're 2 up, as opposed to when you're 1 up. You can afford perhaps, as you said, to give up a deuce and still come home with 1 up.
Yeah, that's right. If he's smart, which Steve is, he's been around a long time. He knows he just has to start running those guards away, and the worst he's going to do is give up a deuce, and that'll leave him 1 up with the hammer coming home.
Now Graeme McCarrol in the hack. Another good delivery. Graeme's been around, although he's still pretty young, at least by my standards. He's been around quite a long time. 1980, lost the finals of the Canadian Junior. Another pretty good third these days, John Kawaja. But Graeme around Toronto has won just about everything there is to win.
Yeah, Graeme's just a solid curler, and makes a good shot there, really just getting the guard out front. Had a curl, a little over curled, about 6 inches or so on him.
Yeah, the only thing I guess is taking a lot of time because
now some discussion here whether to remove the shot stone or the front one. And now just discussing weight, I guess. Surprised they're playing the back one.
No, I think he'll just peel that out of there. That's probably the good call, because then that forces Graeme to put one back in a better spot.
Well, this one was not narrow, or was not wide, I should say.
No, but really that's the right way to miss it. You'd hate to ever get that wide and miss everything. So I think he probably had it in his mind not to throw that one wide. Looks like he did everything he could there to throw that one narrow.
Yeah, there was, as you suggest, he wasn't going to miss it on the high side.
No, that's a good miss. That's the right way to miss.
And Graeme McCarrol will be looking again for another guard here. Middaugh team has been beneficiary of a good sponsor over the years as well, M&M Meat Shops. Doing well for them, and always nice to see companies in the community getting involved when you're with a Wayne Middaugh. I suppose you get a little bit more exposure than the most players as well.
Yeah, really over the last 3 years or so, Wayne's been the most high-profile team in curling. He's been on the Skins game every year, and in the finals of the WCT, the World Curling Tour Championship. So Wayne's got a lot of exposure for M&M meets, and they're a good sponsor, and they sponsor an event in London.
Good cash spiel event down there, which I'm sure many of the teams that are here will be traveling down to in a few weeks. Already in the skip rocks here, N9. And it's a 3-point lead for Rob Lobel. And now Steve Lobel looking, they're going to cross the face of this one, hit it on the Brooklyn side with a peel.
Again, this is the only way really he could get into trouble. If he hits this one on the nose straight back and dead jams it, Wayne could possibly pick up a 3-ender. But he obviously feels confident throwing it well, so.
Well, they've been sharp today. This rock looks like they were sweeping it for the double kill there. They left it up. Is that a potential problem?
I don't think so. Wayne will just try and get one half buried and get his deuce.
Some discussion here between McCarrol and Middaugh. What would they be looking at?
Well, whether to try and go around. Is it worth it actually trying to go around that corner guard? If you ever wreck and not get your shooter onto the rings, you're pretty much out of the end with getting a single point. So if Wayne goes the intern to the wide 12-foot, he's pretty much going to get his 2. I'm not sure what he's calling. Maybe he might be throwing the guard here.
The indication I saw was perhaps half buried, as you mentioned on your first one. But no, it looks like he's going to draw away from the guard. Throwing the intern.
Just behind T-line. Just behind.
And this one's safely in the rings, although appears to be pretty well just about perfect. No chance of a double there?
Oh, I think there is.
Is there? Is it?
Wayne's team just left that, and it grinded in at the last couple of feet there. Wayne would have liked that back another 6 inches. I think if Rob hits about half a stone here, he's going to get the double kill.
I guess for Rob, there's no real worry here. I mean, as long as you get one.
Yeah, he definitely has to get one for sure.
But he can afford to play the little higher hard one maybe, and as you say, make sure he gets one and then perhaps get lucky with a double.
Yeah, he's taking pretty tight ice and just try and hit it somewhere on the inside. And
ninth end action here. This is the final stone for Rob Lobel. He has a 3-point lead over Wayne. Middaugh sitting 2. He has 1 rock to come. This has some velocity.
yeah, he really fired that one.
Sweeper's well off it though.
Looks really good.
We get the double is close. How about the roll? Well, that'll make it a little more crowded in the 4-foot there. Good shot.
Well, this is a huge shot. Wayne gets his 2 points, and he's only 1 back, and he's guaranteed a center rock in the next end, free guard zone. So he's not out of it.
Although, as we've seen earlier today, that there's no such thing as a sure thing in this game so far by either skip, it seems. So
yeah, that's true. He hasn't got his deuce yet, does he?
Yeah,
So
that's right. And this is fairly close to the spot where he missed the last time in the 5th end. But I'm sure he's going to bear down a little bit here.
yeah, he's obviously thinking about it. He's not sure if it's going to come up or not. That one he threw a couple ends ago just ran dead straight on him. You can see that he's wondering if it's going to curl.
Room just about an inch or so outside the Yellowstone. And last shot in 9 here. Wayne Middaugh looking for a deuce.
He threw that one a lot better than he did a couple ends ago. That's pretty good.
Sweepers on and off, usually a good sign. And this appears to be pretty good. So there's 2 for Wayne Middaugh. And he narrows the margin now, 7-6 for Rob Lobel. Coming into the final frame, looks like we're headed for a good finish here.
Yeah, Scott can just get his first rock out front. It's going to be interesting to see how Rob Lobel plays the end. If he plays it come around, or he throws it through, or tries to play the little tap. So
it's the beauty of the free guard zone as well, as we see now that years ago before this end would be just up and down the sheet. Now we've got is the last end is going to be the most exciting. Well, it certainly has the potential to be anyway.
Yeah, a couple years ago, the way Rob's team's hitting, the game would have been over right now. They would just be rifling, peeling rocks out. But Wayne has a chance anyways. That's the beauty of the free guard zone, is that Wayne has a chance. He's one down without the hammer, and he actually has a chance. So they're working on this one pretty good.
Wayne Middaugh out to help him. And boy, it's close.
Oh boy, that's good sweeping. That would have been huge if they didn't get that over the hog line.
A little help from his friends there. Scott Bailey has a few thank yous, I think, or maybe around after that one.
I think he was worried about halfway down that wasn't going to make it. But, sweepers got that one over the hog line.
Now Rob Lobel can't remove this, but I guess he's looking for the tick.
Yeah, this is a big shot for the lead. Try and tick this one over to the boards as far as away from the center line as possible. It's really curling.
Now if this rock goes out, it's replaced. And the yellow one would come off. And that's what's going to happen. So there's the beauty of the free guard zone and the importance of that sweeping there in the by Team Middaugh on Scott Bailey's first stone.
Well, this is the chance that that Wayne wanted, and it's funny the tick shot that Rob played. I don't know what the percentage is, but I know our team, we usually don't play it. Wayne doesn't play it, and I don't think Eddie ever plays it. But when it works, it's great. Sometimes getting one around the top of the 8-foot is the better call. But
we saw Jeff Stoughton's team in the Briar a few years back use that so effectively. But you're right. It's I guess it's an either or. You could go right around and put the pressure on him.
Yeah, the tick is such a tough shot, and if you don't make it, it gives your opposition the chance to get in there first. And like what's happened here now, Rob's going to end up going out and peeling, and Wayne has a rock in the 4-foot, and he's going to have a chance to guard for the next few shots. So.
Well, looking for appeal here now, and appears to be okay.
Well, you're going to see consecutive guards here by Wayne. He's just going to keep throwing them up on the center line, and Rob's going to keep going up and removing them.
Again, we see the veteran team struggling. Scott was struggling throughout the game, really, with his weight, and yet the last end here, he's, with a little help from his friend, has put together 2 very important shots, and now the momentum has swung. The lead has really determined the pace and the setting of this end.
Oh, it is, and it really is amazing, because years ago, you would have seen Scott throw that rock out front and just hope that the other team misses the peel. But now that rock is so crucial, and there's so much pressure on the lead coming down the stretch. Basically, it's like being the skip and having to draw the 4-foot. Even though that free guard zone is a big distance, it's almost like drawing the button when you're tied up coming home or one down coming home.
Now Ian Tetley has come just nibbling on the top 12-foot. That's a pretty good shot, or is it too deep?
That's definitely too deep. They might be able to throw one across the face here and make the double and roll for a corner guard.
Again, though, I guess how you miss, if you're going to miss, is important here, isn't it?
Yeah, the best thing to do here is to hit and roll away. And this one looks pretty good. He's real close to a double and roll.
Big shot there.
Super shot.
That certainly helps out the cause there. Now, of course, yellow with replacing red at the top of the rings. You do have the center guard, but I suppose you'd rather be yours than theirs.
Yeah, given the condition of the ice where it's really difficult to fully bury one, that's a good shot. And Wayne's going to have to get this one maybe to the back of the 8-foot to get her fully buried. Rob's going to have to play another race.
Scott Bailey, Graeme McCarrol working pretty hard on this one. And I don't think that's going to get around or make it to the rings. Let's see here, a little crash.
Yeah, that's not a good shot by Ian. That could second stone for Rob's team can make a double peel here. It could be all over.
Down to the final few shots here of the National Sports Curling Classic at Weston Golf and Country Club. 7-6 lead for Rob Lobel. He holds the hammer and looking to peel off this red.
God, I'm surprised he played that. I would have played the double peel all day. And
interesting call there. I would have thought maybe gone to the other handle.
Yeah, just played an out turn, hit half a
Played
rock.
high and hard. And now gives the chance for Graeme McCarrol to play the come around. Wayne Middaugh there with the broom just outside the edge of the 4-foot. This kind of a game, this close a game, in the final of an event, how much is the experience that Middaugh would have worth?
Well, I think it'd be huge. Wayne's been in lots of finals over the last few years, and he's come from behind and won games before, so he knows that if they can get a rock in there buried and put the pressure on Rob, and that they have a chance to win this game.
That rock back of the 4-foot, but about half exposed, half 3/4 exposed.
Yeah, Rob, again, he's looking at playing the raise, but I think I'd just be trying to pick that one out of there and leave your stone out front. It's on the full 4-foot.
It certainly seems that it's very tough to bury there completely anyway, so you're not really...
Yeah, that may be as good as you can get it, and so if he just keeps peeling them out of there, it's...
a risky shot here, though. If you, as you said earlier, if you ever miss this one, then Middaugh can really lock the guard on, and...
yeah.
How's your 4-foot weight after that, I suppose, isn't it? That's the next question you have to ask Rob.
Yeah, exactly, and he might be drawn against too. That's the other thing, and Rob hasn't thrown a lot of draws this game. He's been playing a lot of takeouts.
And this one, the high heater, and he's got it. Wow.
Ooh.
Again, however, though, it's one back of the button. That's a little bit of a dangerous stone, I'm sure.
Yeah, if Graeme can lock this one on here, Wayne's in a good position to steal a point.
Graeme McCarrol now.
Graeme just threw it on the 4-foot, so he should have his draw weight here.
Just gave it the little high sign to Wayne, though, indicating perhaps a little bit heavy.
And it's got some curling to do as well. Oh, it looks pretty good.
Just needs to come up a shade more.
Oh, just a hair heavy.
And just nudges that Yellowstone, perhaps only an inch or so back. But every inch, and when it doesn't curl quite that much, I guess is crucial, isn't it?
Yeah, you would have been better off to be the top of the 4-foot there. Put some pressure on Steve to make a really good raise or a pick.
Now, if you're Rob Lobel, what do you do in this situation? Do you get rid of the red one, or do you guard your yellow?
Geez, I don't know.
Sorry to put you on the spot there, expert.
I'd probably peel the center guard.
Peel the center guard off.
Yeah, try and run it back into Wayne's red one there. It only takes one real good draw by Wayne to seal a point up. If he ever locked it on the pot there, Rob would have his hands full with trying to remove it. So the safest shot is probably peeling the center guard.
Well, Rob Lobel looking at angles here, I think. And sure want to make sure, I guess, where you're going with this one. But the call, as you suggested, peel that center one. Steve just waiting the some disturbances on the sheet beside him. Here he goes. Lots of weight. Brings to it now. How about that shot? Well, that's not as good as it might seem at first, is it?
No, he still left his rock out front. Mind you, it's not exposing or it's not covering the forefoot. It does give Wayne an opportunity to throw a freeze here. Even if he can even tap the yellow rock back a couple inches, and I don't think Rob's going to be able to get it out. But still gives Wayne a chance. Just a bit of a bad break there. Threw a pretty good rock there.
10th end action here. We're down to Skip's rocks. It's Wayne Middaugh with his first one. Graeme McCarrol holding the broom. Middaugh trails by 1, 7-6. Ian Tetley, Scott Bailey. All-important line. This looks pretty good.
Just want to bump it about an inch or two. That's a fantastic shot.
Great shot there by Wayne Middaugh. Now, how do you get that out? Boy, that veteran experience that we're talking about there, he's been struggling a bit all day long. It comes down to the final, the big shot, and there he is.
Yeah, exactly. Wayne, I don't think, was really worried about the shots that he missed earlier. He can bear down, and he knew if he made that shot, he has a good chance of stealing a point.
Now, is there enough room there, do you think, for Rob to bump that red one back and sit shot?
Well, I think
or should he be playing a high hard one?
Yeah,
or should he be?
I think Rob's best option here would be play a high hard one, try and hit a quarter of a rock. Even if he jams it, he's still going to have an opportunity to draw to the back ones or play a takeout or a double for the win. He's, I think, trying to hit this one right on the nose.
So almost a double takeout off the first yellow one that Wayne just tapped, I guess.
Yeah.
I suppose if hit it perfectly, you could get everything, couldn't you? Almost.
I don't think the red's not going to leave the rings, that's for sure. But I think what he's trying to do is nail it right on the nose and kill those two back yellow ones. So the worst he'll have is a double to win the game.
Rob Lobel now in the hack. His first stone here, end number 10. Sweeper's on it right out of his hand.
It's really curling. He was really tight on that one. Oh, boy.
And a jam, and leaves the red shooter of Wayne Middaugh frozen solid. Boy, that's about as bad as you could do on that shot. That's too bad.
That's the worst luck in the world right there. Wayne's best option here is to throw it right on the top of the button. Rob was sliding tight on that and just couldn't get it back.
And now not only you're looking at giving up the single point, but you're in danger perhaps of even giving up 2 and losing the game.
Yeah, if Wayne throws this one on top of the forefoot, Rob pretty much has to concede a point. He's just got to play a peel and concede a point. He can't get, you know, too perfect with his last one. If Wayne puts a good one on here, he's going to give up a deuce.
Wayne Middaugh now, his final stone here, N10. Tetley, Bailey. Not going full speed at it yet. There they go. It's off, it's on.
Well, they got to get this one to to the top of the 4-foot.
Looking for the 4-foot. Piece of the button. How's that for touch? Boy, what a great shot there. Wayne Middaugh locks it with a piece of the button. And if you are Rob Lobel here, I guess you just want to make sure what you're going to play, set yourself in your mind, but not an easy shot in any case.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to figure out one shot here and like you said, stick it in his mind and go down and play it. He can't worry about too much. That's a good shot because Wayne, if he hits about half a rock, he's going to kill his back yellow one, and the red one could jam over on the far left. So he's got to be real careful here. He doesn't give up too. So he's either has to pick it clean and concede the point, or play a really, really tough nose hit. Looks like that's what he's doing.
Play the nose hit. Try and squeeze one of the reds out and you take one, or you just nose it and give up one and go to the extra end. Well, all down to this now for Rob Lobel. Wayne Middaugh sitting 2, trailing by 1. 2 locked on pretty carefully, pretty closely, pretty tightly around the 4-foot there. He's playing it fairly quiet. No, not really quiet, but he's looking for the nose.
It looks real good.
Oh, great shot. And a victory. And there it is. 1 point for Rob Lobel. Great shot there. Sneaks it out over Wayne Middaugh. Final score 8-6. And Peter, perhaps a bit of an upset, but Lobel was full measure today.
Oh, definitely an upset, but Rob deserved the win. His team was great. Wayne was a little off, but Rob's team played really, really well, and it's nice to see him win on a great shot like that because he deserved it.
An exciting finish here at the National Sports Curling Classic. And we'll be right back after this to wrap it up. Exciting final, and Rob Lobel perhaps an upset winner over Wayne Middaugh. That's all coming down, though, to the last shot.
Yeah, it definitely was an upset, but Rob Lobel and his team were flawless. They played really well. They hung in there. They took advantage of Wayne's team not playing as well as they can, and made a fantastic shot to win the game. There was a lot of pressure on the line there. He misses that, he drops a deuce, and he just came through for his team when he had to, and he's a champion.
If you're Wayne Middaugh, what do you go away with? Obviously, you're not pleased with your performance, but what do you go away with from this bonspiel?
Well, again, this is Wayne's first bonspiel this year, and his team had played really well through the whole event. They were just mowing down teams, so they played well. They just got up against a hot skip and a hot team in the final this afternoon. But Wayne has a long road. He's playing in about 12 bonspiels in a row, so this is just a little bit of a warm-up for him. And he was in the final already, and he's going to be in a pile this winter, I believe. Well,
Peter, thanks for your expert commentary today. Always a pleasure to have a world champion in the booth. And for Peter, this is Bob Weeks, thanking everyone for watching here at the National Sports Curling Classic at Weston Golf and Country Club. Just before we leave you, we'll let you know that the women's final right now, Grisella Gritching from Switzerland is up 5-4 against Kathy Brown from Sutton. And from everyone here at Rogers and at the Weston Golf and Country Club, thanks for watching. We'll see you next year at this time.